I'm much humbled that the panel coming through also. All right, so welcome to this session. Thank you so much for logging through and for taking your time to make sure that you're with us to learn. We're going to learn quite a number of things today, and I request that you at least have your pen, your notebook, so that we can be able to learn. So today we would like to learn more about speaking with confidence. And here we're trying to look at unlocking the power of public speaking for professional success. So at this point in time, all of us should be able to agree that public speaking is a very key skill for any professional, especially those that have interests in building leadership skills as well as being able to grow in their careers beyond just their current roles. So that is what public speaking really provides to you. So we have quite an experienced speaker with us today, whom we shall be inviting shortly to be able to share with us. But for me, when it comes to public speaking, recently I just shared and said that public speaking changed a lot about my career. Basically, the confidence of being able to show up confidently and presenting my ideas, I think gave me visibility within the organization where I'm working, as well as other players in the industry where I have gotten involved. So when I was trying to think about the different topics that we shall discuss as the TPC community, public speaking was one of them. And if you've seen me even share some of our key modules for the Foundation Growth Program is public speaking. Just as personal finance is important, just as personal branding is important, public speaking is also a key skill for us to be able to leverage on and be able to learn more and see how we get ourselves more exposed. So if you're joining through this session, I would encourage you to just drop in the comment section, or in if you're joining through Zoom, you could just drop within the chat box. What is that one challenge when it comes to public speaking, or what is that fear that you have when it comes to public speaking? What is stopping you from speaking up? What is that you would want to take away from the session? So when we hear from you, I think that helps us to be able to even know how to structure our conversation around public speaking. In terms of what to expect, from this session. We'll be discussing quite a number of topics, and some of these topics will be around aspects of how to overcome fear when it comes to public speaking, especially when you get nervous and that anxiety. Imagine you're in a meeting and they say you you're the one to present a given, let's say, either report, or you have been impromptu just called upon to present at any kind of event or whatever. So that is one of the things that we'll be handling basically. And then we should also be trying to look at, see how can you leverage public speaking, especially as a leader, somebody who is in a leadership position. How are you able to communicate with confidence to your audience? One of the things that is also very key for us, especially for the TPC community, is we how can you be able to leverage public speaking to be a thought leader, to be in a position where they invite you to speak on different panels, different events, either industry events or events organized by different organizations. How do you get there? And even when you're invited for such sessions, how do you make sure that you're delivering a good game at the end of the day? So those are quite a number of things that we shall be sharing, but I like the fact that we also have quite a number of people that are sharing when it comes to the comment section, what they are looking out for. So somebody here says, when the crowd is big, I get some nerves at the start and capturing their attention. I think that's very important because when we are speaking about public speaking, we're not just speaking about speaking to just 2 or 3 people, but we're also looking at a larger audience. How are you able to capture the attention of a larger audience, just in case you're invited to speak to a larger audience? It could be at your workplace, it could be you're invited for an industry event, or it could be through an area. Sometimes it's just even like church. Some of you might be serving in church, and once in a while, maybe you're called upon to either present a project that you're handling, and you really can't hold yourself before the public. So that is something. So one of the people here following through the session says speaking wrong English. So there's also that fear of saying, if I'm going to speak, I may not be able to speak elaboratively in terms of the English that I'm using. And here we're trying to say, look at even the communication. Is the other party who is in the audience able to hear me, able to listen to the message that I'm delivering? So let those keep on coming through, even as we get through the session. I know that my speaker will also be joining in shortly to be able to just share thoughts around this. But as we wait for a speaker, I just want us to get into the why speaking with confidence and why public speaking. So, and I just want to use my journey as well, sharing with you. So, uh, when did I start to speak or think about public speaking? It all happened while we were still in school. So to those that went through certain schools, you know that we used to have the debaters club. We used to have related kind of clubs. I think even Interact and whatever. So somehow, when I would see people speaking, especially even the leaders themselves, like student leaders themselves, speaking with confidence, there is a certain element or desire that I developed as well to say, I also need to be able to speak confidently. I liked debating and I liked sharing my ideas with the public. And in there is where I developed that sense of saying, I need to intentionally develop this public speaking skill. And I'll tell you, and I usually share this, that um, I'm that character that you may call an introvert, or I'm that character who'd be, let's say, in a room or a classroom and even struggle to even raise up a hand. But then I realized at that point in time, I don't know how I got that kind of conviction, how I understood that if it was not public speaking, I was not going to go so far with my life. And so I started to intentionally develop this public speaking skill. So public speaking, some people may say, people who speak confidently are born speakers. But I stand to disagree with them, because for myself, it was a journey of picking up myself and starting to speak. And slowly by slowly, I started developing confidence. And one of the things that I've also come to appreciate is when it comes to public speaking, there are actually key tactics around the whole game. It's not just about getting that whatever information you have and getting into the room and presenting it. There are some tactics that help you either to engage the audience. I think one of the one of the attendees here was trying to say, how do I capture their attention first time? So there are also techniques around how do you capture the attention of the audience. And even when we're in this digital era and age, you get yourself in circumstances where it is even now an online event like this one, where I'm speaking to quite a number of people here, either watching live session or are watching a recorded session. But how do I engage this kind of audience? So for me, it all started from that realization that I needed this skill. And I know that there are quite a number of professionals here as well who are at a given level of their careers, but they have realized that this is something that they need. Not only just for us at the workplace, but even people who really aspire to grow their careers to let's say a global level, or to grow their careers and succeed in the industry, to be able to take up board positions. I think public speaking comes in very, very key for everyone. Because at the end of the day, if you're not good at public speaking, means that there are certain opportunities that you're going to forfeit. Basically, those opportunities, you're not going to be able to achieve them because you're not a good public speaker. So that is something that is very critical for us. So as over and over time, as I got to realize that this is something I needed, I started developing these skills. One of the key things that also helped me along the journey is listening to other speakers and watching them. And for me, this is even a principle that cuts across different facets of life. I do believe that if John can do it, I can do it as myself. If someone can do it, I can also do it. So it's through being able to learn from other people and being able to see what can I pick from their presentation. And even continuously with yourself, when you're presenting, there's that feedback that you get. Some of this feedback could come from the audience. Sometimes you can even just read the environment. I'll tell you that one of the key things that I've really appreciated with the public speaking is that the audience is very important. Being able to, you see, the message, and even we'll be able to learn the message, the speaker. I know there's an acronym called SAM, which is the speaker, the message, as well as the audience. The audience is very important in the whole facet of speaking. You have to make sure that the audience, because at the end of the day, why are you speaking? You're speaking because of the audience. So even when you've crafted this good message, you need to get to a room and understand and read the environment and see, whom am I speaking to? Because if you're delivering a message, however good the message might be, but if it's not aligned to the audience, then there's nothing much that can really happen. So that's quite important. It's a lesson that I really learned along the way, that I needed to make sure that every time I get to speak, for example, when I'm invited to speak, even if it's a Rotary Club or a Rotary Club or any group, even if it's an organization, one of the things that I ask is, who is in my audience? I also asked about different demographics to ask to find out, are they male? Are they female? What is their, let's say, level of career? At what level are they? You even get down to understand. One of the things that I speak about is personal finance. So even my audience, I even get down to understand what are their income levels. because the kind of message I want to deliver, even if I want to share with them investment opportunities, I need to be able to understand what will relate to the audience specifically. So that's something very critical. Apart from just understanding the audience, understanding demographics, age, gender, as well as their preferences. One of the things I also understand is the time that I have to deliver the message, because great speakers are great time managers. Understanding that I have, let's say, this session for maybe 2 hours, but understanding that the 2 hours I have, I can be able to deliver my message and still be able to reach everyone is quite important. So that is something that is very critical for you, even as in your speaking journey. So fans, continue to just share what are your thoughts and what would you like to really learn away from here. So we have Lochole Philip here, who says, whenever I happen to be part of in managerial meetings, at the point of giving out my submission, stammering comes in. Okay. And then we have somebody says, creativity as I deliver my speech, how to be confident while addressing large audiences. Okay. So keep those events, or you're watching as a replay. It's also very important just to share your thoughts around this topic. And we just want to make sure that we understand, how do we leverage on public speaking? What can we do exactly to make sure that we are great public speakers? And how can we be able to leverage on this skill for professional success, either growing in our careers, becoming thought leaders in the industry, and doing great things with our lives, okay? So that is important. So I was just trying to share my lessons around public speaking. So apart from understanding the audience, one of the key critical things that I came to appreciate is for you to be a great public speaker, you also need to be a great storyteller. So people resonate more with stories than any other thing. So that's why you see every great public speaker starts with a story, or shares about this. They may not start with a story, but they have a story. And some of the stories are somehow even sometimes related to the topics that they are trying to present about. So every time this could be a personal story, this could be a story of another person that you either read. This could be a story, but at the end of the day, the story needs to relate to the audience. So when the audience is able to connect to the story, then there is transformation at the end of the day. Now, the stories come into play to also help in terms of getting the audience connected. Because what happens is, if the audience is interested in your message, like when you're telling a story, people get interested. They want to understand what happened next, what went next. So something like that. So it's important for you to make sure that as in your public speaking journey, when you're invited to speak to an audience, you're trying to think, do I have a related personal story? Do I have a story that I can share? I'll give you an example. There's an organization that was invited me to speak to their staff about saving. And at that point in time, I had just uh, gotten some of my savings with under a given some investment plan. And somehow I had a story. I was trying to share with them how I was able to save for 5 months consistently the same amount of money, and how that came through. And at the end of the day, there was transformation, because they saw that I was not just speaking from theoretical point of view, but I had some element of facts. I had some elements of experience that I was sharing to my audience. So that is very critical. Okay. So I just want to check and see if our speaker, our other speaker is on the call. David Asanga, are you here? Maybe you're joining through another name. Okay, so not yet here, but as soon as you're here, you can just let me know. And then I'm able to be able to just recognize you and let you in. So public speaking storytelling comes in very key. I already spoke about the time management, that every time you're invited to speak or every time you have an opportunity to speak, ask yourself, how long do I have to speak? If you have 5 minutes, make sure that you deliver your message in the 5 minutes. If you have 20 minutes, make sure that you find how you can deliver the message within those 20 minutes. One of the most other key aspect is engagement, engaging with the audience. Now, this is very important. Most we think that we know everything, but one of the things that also helps you is that when you engage with the audience, it helps calm your nerves. The attention is not only on you. I'll give you an example. I think it was last year. I was invited to speak at an event. So somehow I got a lot of things that delayed me. And of course, it's not really good for any speaker to really arrive late. It's encouraged that you actually arrive early and connect with some of the audience, and also just watch and be able to not just get used to the environment. So because of uncertainties, I could not get there early. So I get in there, they had already sat, and immediately I'd sat like this. The MC was like, "Oh, with our speaker is right here." I'd not even calmed down, and I was supposed to speak. So what I did, I got to the stage, and how did I start? So I of course, I started by asking them and say, thank you so much for inviting me to speak to you today. Before I dive into what message I want to share with you, I just want to get about 3 or 4 volunteers to just share what is that one thing that you would want to take away from my presentation. And that, of course, one of the things that I've come to appreciate is in an audience, you always see participating participants that come through. So people picked up the microphone, they started sharing as I was noting what I was noting. But for me, that helped me to engage the audience at the start, but it also helped me to calm down my nerves. So that is why you see, even when some speakers come, let's say they are starting up and they feel nervous, what they do is to first throw back to the audience. Either they make a comment that makes the audience laugh, or they say, we've sat for a long period of time. Let's just stand up and do some stretching. So the speaker is trying to gain some level of confidence while they are speaking to the audience. This could also be around an aspect or recognizing either people who have invited them, or recognizing or commenting about a speaker who has just gotten done with the session. So for me, it was about asking the audience, what are some of your great takeaways that you want to take away from the session? And we had a round, it took about 5 minutes. And for me, that helped me just get into, to calm down and get into the session much confidently. So there is no one-way technique, but you just need to understand, how do I engage my audience? And then how do I also pick up myself when I'm nervous? One of the key things that also helped me, and I've used this even when it comes to interviews. If you're going for a job interview and you really want the job, and I don't know why sometimes even such scenarios happen when you really want the job, you get nervous. So what happens is, what I usually do is, it's a very powerful technique that they really taught me. I breathe in and out. You breathe in and out. So there's a scientific interpretation and explanation behind how breathing is able to capture some of your tension, and you're able to get more relaxed than you were on tension before. So every time you are nervous to speak, I'll just encourage you to just breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. I'm telling you that that really solved a lot of the problems. And you know that stage fright when you get, sometimes some people think that great speakers do not get stage fright. But there's a notion that says that if you do not get stage fright, means you do not value the audience. Because any speaker that really values the audience, they want to come and share their best self. They want to make sure that whatever they are sharing with the audience is something that is going to transform the audience. So that alone brings a lot. I've listened to even Vusi also making the same agreeing that sometimes it gets nervous. So getting nervous, even the Obamas of this world, the Oprah Winfrey, they also get nervous, even if it's an audience they have spoken to. But there's that kind of human fear that we always get. But being able to get off that, so breathing in is also very important. Sometimes also what I do, especially for larger audiences, if I'm starting, what I'll do, I'll not look at people in the eyes. I'll first look at the end of the audience. And I know you've heard some people speak about that. But at the end of the day, that is a short-term solution because as you proceed through your speaking, you also want to keep an eye contact with a few people. Sometimes you can get some 2 or 3, 4 people on different, let's say, based on how the room is structured. So you say, I'll look at this person, I'll look at this person, look at this person. So it helps that the audience feels like you're not just looking in one direction, but you're doing that kind of participatory view when it comes to your presentation. I've also seen great speakers also, in terms of engagement, they walk around the audience. And now that is when maybe your microphone has been set up in a way that you can walk around the audience. That alone also gives you some level of confidence and engagement. It also creates engagement because when you're moving around through your speaking, sometimes the audience is able to get engaged because they work with you, and sometimes it also gets the attention off the stage. Okay, so that's quite important. So that is one thing that I've seen work out. I would just want to I know that even as we are through this session, we have some great speakers here on the call, and I would just want to just hear from them. Just share within the comment section. I have my brother here, Solomon Kowemi, who I know is very good at this game. Solomon, you could just share within the comment section what are some of your those things that you do when it comes to managing stage fright, but also to just be that speaker that is going to leave a world kind of audience. So as we hear from people who have really done well, especially in this area of public speaking, one of the things that I've also come to really appreciate is great speakers prepare. So every time you're invited to speak, it's very important that you prepare around the message you're going to share. And your preparation is around, this is how I'm going to start. These are my points along the session, and this is what I'm going to end with. And these are my takeaways. What are the takeaways that I want the audience to really take away from the session? So that is something that is very critical. So preparation is really very important for anyone who really wants to be a good public speaker. For every topic that you're invited to speak, make sure that you're able to do as much research as possible. And then I already mentioned, I think it was something to do with around the engagement of the audience. So there is what we call facilitation. So facilitation is also a model of public speaking, where you're not invited as a keynote speaker, but you're invited as more of a facilitator. So facilitator means that the you're not the most smart person in the room, but you're acknowledging that there are other people in the room. So you're basically using questions to ask. So and people are able to respond. So it's more of interactive than just a kind of presentation. I've done that with quite some audiences as well, and it works. And even if you're delivering, let's say you've been invited to deliver a speech, sometimes it's also just very good to hear from the audience to see what are their perspectives around the topic that you're trying to present. So that is very important. So preparation is very important. And there's somebody who just shared here, I think Kenneth, who says, be knowledgeable about the topic of discussion. So invest. If you're developing a public speaking career, like myself, have topics that you speak about. Sometimes you're going to get requests from people for you to come and speak, and they're going to suggest topics to you. And there are topics that you know very well you cannot speak to because you're either not qualified in them, or you don't have knowledge about them. And you even have an opportunity to suggest a topic. I was invited by, I think it was must have been the Isaka members. So I was invited and they asked me to come and present about what was it about? It was about, they wanted me to speak about effective teams. So effective teams from the perspective that they wanted people who are into leadership or team buildings to be able to learn how they can be able to manage their teams. So what happens is I suggested to them a topic that was related to my to what I was doing, and that was around career development. So through the process, I was able to say instead of that, I proposed that I speak to the audience around career. So for me, that helped me, that they really welcomed the topic. And when I shared from some level of confidence, some level of knowledge. Okay. So it really, 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 really helped. So that is quite important. So being able to be knowledgeable about your topic is very important. There are times where you do not have an option, but to present that topic. So it means that you have to do research and see what other people spoken about the topic, and what are thoughts, what are the different thoughts around the different topics. So that is very important. So there are quite a number of lessons, but I'm glad also to know that our speaker has joined us as well. Welcome, David Asanga. You could I'm going to just welcome you here, so that let me just first stop share so that I'm able to welcome. Hi, David. How are you? Let me just try to allow you to unmute. Okay, David Asanga. Please unmute, David. You have the rights.
Okay.
How are you today?
Fine, thank you. I'm very, very sorry.
Happy New
This is,
Year.
yeah, Happy New Year. Very, very sorry. This is unlike me. I keep to time,
No,
but
no,
today I
no,
don't know what
no,
happens.
no,
Yeah,
no, no worries. We've been having
yeah,
a good discussion here
yeah.
with the audience, and I'm very
Yes, I
glad
can.
that
I've been hearing you.
yes,
Yes,
I'm so much
yeah,
glad that you're part of the session now. And
yeah,
welcome. I know that this is
yeah.
your area of public speaking. Public speaking is your key area, so it's something that
Mm,
I really appreciate. So, friends,
yes.
join me in welcoming David Asanga. So, one thing that I've known about David Asanga, I invited David in I think around 2020 to speak to my audience.
Mm,
Those days I used to
mm,
hold webinars. So David Asang is one of those people that came through to be able to speak to us. So he's a coach, public speaking and communication coach. He's going to be able to share more about himself, but I just want to speak about the things that I know about him. He's a man of energy when it
mm,
comes to holding audiences and making sure that he engages them, which is very, very, very key when it
mm,
comes to this journey of public speaking. And yeah, he's married, and him and the wife are running Signature Speakers. So David, I know that you have quite a number of things that you're doing. So allow me just invite you to just break down who is David Asanga, even as the audience tries to look forward to your presentation.
Okay. Thank you, Coach Samuel Ibanda. It's a great pleasure to be here and being invited to the Professionals Club. So, like you have heard, I'm David Asanga. I'm from Nigeria, but now in Uganda, and I'm enjoying the place very well. Uh, Samuel has just given a microcosm of who I am. But let me just add some flesh to it because nobody knows me better than I know myself. So I came to Uganda some years ago, first in 2014. I came for a missionary work uh, by my church in Nigeria. So when I came, I fell in love with a Ugandan lady, and it was very interesting. But then the marriage did not last for more than a month to just give it a little bit of time. But I think it was less than that. We did a wedding in Nigeria. We did Kwanjula here, and so I I thought everything was going to be all right, and so she offered for a divorce, and so I ran down to Uganda. That was like 2017 to come and solve the problem. But when I came, it didn't solve, and since then I've been here because I tried to go back, but I couldn't go back. My heart was here. Those of you who are Christians, I don't want to play the God card, but God told me to stay. Yeah. So, but when I stayed, it was so frustrating. And I thought I would go back to Nigeria to get our Nigerian ladies since I felt I was disappointed in East Africa. But that was not the case. Everywhere there's divorce, marriages fails everywhere. So in that process of preparation, like Samuel mentioned, and somebody also mentioned in the chat, preparation. So I was in that preparation time, growing myself, and I enrolled into a Bible college. I also was taken as a staff, but then I was still feeling depressed and so much angered, thinking that life was gone. So that was when I had to lock myself in a room and ask myself a serious question: who am I and why am I here on earth? So, somewhere around 2019, January to be precise, I got the answer. That was when I discovered that I had gift in me, which is public speaking. I could sing, I could act, I could do many things. But then I thought to myself that this line of public speaking should be something that I should give it a shot. So I began to build myself from that period, a little bit of 2017, 2018, but 2019 was when I was very serious about it, and so I continued. Then 2020, I met Samuel, who invited me for a webinar. It was also still on public speaking, so I was still there, finding myself more and more. And then 2021, the lockdown came also. 2022, we continued. Then 2023, I felt it was time for me now to get another woman. It is not good for man to be alone. So in that process, I said, let me run back to Nigeria and find somebody. But as I was making my research, people told me, "Why are you going back to Nigeria to to look for a woman? You can find a woman here." But I said, "No, I don't want to fall into the mistake I made the first time." Who are also here, who have made it. They told me I should go back home. You know how we talk. They were very aggressive, warning me. Uh, you know, uh, w- uh, Once beaten, twice shy. You know that proverb. So I didn't want to be not just twice shy or 10 times beaten. I didn't want to be 20 times shy. So I said, okay, let me go back. But in the process, somebody made a word to me. He told me, do you think Nigerians don't divorce? Do you think Americans don't divorce? Do you think people in Asia don't divorce? So what is the problem? The issue is that sit down, take your time, and look for a very good woman. That is where your breakthrough will be. Not saying, I'm going back to Nigeria because Ugandans have disappointed me. That is a wrong philosophy. So I changed my mindset. And when I sat down, I saw a beautiful lady. My stomach began, the butterfly, we're going to talk about it, stage fright, love and stage fright. So I began, my stomach began to sing, tinini tanana, tinini tanana. And so I found the lady, and here we are. Last year, last year, 2023, August, we got married again. I remarried, and I've been enjoying my marriage. And we began signature speaker, and we have a heart also for young couples who are getting married and people who are intending to get married, because knowledge is very key to be stable in marriage. So we began our programs on relationship symposium and all the rest of them. So I can keep you here telling you about my story, but I think it's a transformational story, just like we are in this club, Transformational Professionals Club. Thank you.
Yeah.
So that is me in a brief. Yeah.
Thank you so much, David.
Yeah.
You see, like I was sharing with the audience earlier on that great public speakers are great storytellers. So I know that there was no better way to introduce yourself by giving a story, which I know that many of our audience have been able to really get connected to. So I just want to get back to that you found through within a room, and you say that it was public speaking. So David, why public speaking, and why is it very important for each one of us? I know that there's what you say that everything falls on leadership.
Yeah.
And I think you try to change that statement and bring your
Mm,
version and say everything
mm,
starts and falls on communication, on public
mm,
speaking.
yeah.
Why public speaking from your perspective?
Okay. Thank you very much, Coach Samuel. I looked into it. I've studied very many books, and I'm still reading many books on public speaking, communication. In fact, there are three things that I knew I was called to do. Maybe later it will change. Number one, public speaking. Number two, relationship and marriage. And then number three, leadership. So I give myself to studying, reading, and building myself in that. So when we ask the question, why public speaking? Many people relegate public speaking to the background. You find people saying, no, I'm not called to speak. After all, I'm not going to talk to people. I'm not going to stand before a crowd. I don't have time to do such. But I came to realize, just like John Maxwell says, everything rises and falls on leadership. I also say, David Asanka, everything rise and falls on communication, not just public speaking. Now, everyone can speak, but few can communicate and connect. I come again. Everyone can speak. In fact, you tune in the radio, people are talking. You tune in the TV, everyone is talking. You hear many people talking. On your phone, you call. Everyone can speak, but only few can communicate and connect. Why communication? Communication, is it the same? Is it not the same as speaking? No, there's a thin line. By speaking, you are just I'll just say you're just using a language by a medium for people to hear you, but then there is the lack of understanding, because you can be speaking and no one is understanding you. You can be speaking but you're not connecting. You can be speaking but you're not finding a common ground, which is the root meaning of communication. Communication is from the root word communis, which is Latin, which means to find a common ground. A common ground. Now you find yourself talking to an old woman and you begin to use big vocabularies. You are just speaking, but you have not been able to communicate because you have not found a common ground. You come before your director, your supervisor, and you're just speaking, but you're not giving the nuances. You're not using the what they call the jargons of the trade, like Samuel mentioned, that he was invited to speak to a particular group of people, but he went within the confines of his of his profession or his career, and then to connect also with the people who are listening to him. So finding a common ground, that is communication. Understanding, that is communication. Authenticity, communication. And then Stephen Covey said, don't seek to understand, or yes, don't seek to understand, but seek to be understood, something like that. I'm sorry if I'm mixing it up, but then it means finding to understand the person who you're communicating to, and most importantly is becoming a listener while speaking. So you think more as a listener, not just a speaker. So why public speaking? Public speaking is very important because you will need it in your day-to-day life. You will need it as a professional. Are you into sales? You need to pitch for that product. Three things very important in showcasing your product: the product itself, the customer itself, and then you yourself. But then the greater point depends on you, how you are able to present the product for people to buy. Not just the pricing, but you yourself, persuading us to buy that product, speaking to us. There are many people that have died because they were not given the opportunity to stand out, to speak. Some others had the opportunity to speak, but lacked confidence. That's what we are talking about, unlocking the power of public speaking, which is confidence. If you lack confidence, you can't do well in life. And in life, fortune favors the bold. If you're not bold, nobody will look at you. You want to contest for an office, you want to be a leader, a CEO, or, a supervisor, whatever. You're into accounting, you want to give a report in your meeting, and you're not confident, you may have the right report. Your figures may be correct, but if you lack confidence, you are nowhere to be found. So you need public speaking. And let me share with you what somebody said, by name Peter Drucker. Some of you may know him. Those of you who are into business management, commerce, and all the rest. He said that as soon as you climb one step from the bottom, maybe you're promoted. So as soon as you climb one step from the bottom, your effectiveness, think about it, your effectiveness depends on your ability to be able to communicate through the written and the spoken word. Your effectiveness determines your ability to communicate through your written and your spoken word. So it's not just being able to speak. Right now, we're talking about speaking, but can you go further to develop yourself in writing skills? Great speakers who also write do very well. People, great speakers who can communicate as well as write, they do very well. Like you can see Coach Samuel, you see him on the group, on Facebook, everywhere. He's always writing, communicating, writing. Very few are into writing and also speaking. So you find many speakers these days, they give their writings to people, ghostwriters, they're writing a book, they give it to, they outsource it to people to write for them because they lack the ability to write. It's okay, there's no problem about that, but you will do very well if you can communicate in writing and in speaking. And that will help you also when you're writing emails in your organization. People know you, that you have the communication, style. You have a communication style. So when you write an email, they know, oh, this is from David Asanga. This is from Ninette. This is from John. This is from Rita. They know your style. And also when you communicate, you have a particular kind of vocabulary you use. And when people hear that vocabulary, they know this is coming from Rita. This is coming from John. And if somebody else is using it, they know, oh, you copied from so. This is what brands you as a communicator, as a professional. So when you are able to write, it helps you, it puts you on a very high edge. So I will encourage everybody who is listening to me on this call to also develop a writing skill. Now, let me also talk about the Harvard review. They did something, and they also said the same thing as Peter Drucker said. This is what the Harvard review said, that the number one criteria, remember, we are talking about why public speaking. Why public speaking? Why public speaking? The number one criteria for advancement and promotion for professionals in their career is the ability to communicate effectively. The number one advancement. Remember, we have so many skills these days, and we're in a competitive world. Many skills are coming up. But somebody is saying, the Harvard Review is saying, the number one advancement for promotion. Now you're thinking of, I've not been promoted, and you're thinking, those of us in Africa, you said maybe you're thinking somebody in the village is making you not to be promoted. But you lack communication skills. So it's not your village that is disturbing you. If you're from Nigeria, where I come from, we ascribe many things, especially things that are negative, to demons and all the. Yes, there are demons. There are evil forces that work against our progress and others. But then let's not forget the fact that we need to hone our skills. That's why this program and this club was put together, so that different speakers, different people, different professionals can come on board to hone our skills, to take you to the next level where you have to be. So the number one criteria for advancement and promotion is your ability to communicate effectively. Think about it. Then somebody said, somebody who lacks communication is like a man who winks at a girl in the dark. Think about it. As a man, I'm getting married, but my wife now, then when we are dating, I see her, I say I love her, but I'm just winking at her in the dark, no light. She cannot see anything. She doesn't know what I'm thinking about. So you're wasting your time. So your ability not to communicate is like a man winking at the girl in the dark. There is nothing that is going to happen. There is nothing that is going to happen. So you have to switch on the light, which is communication, and then wink at the girl and say, yeah, hello, baby. I love you, baby. What's up? I love you. Can we get together? Can we spend life together? That is how communication works. So stop winking at the dark. Stop thinking that everything is all about sales, but you cannot talk. You cannot convince us to buy your product. Everything is about counting and numbers. 1+1 = 2, but you cannot tell us how to get from 1 to 2. You cannot confidently, tell us about your product. Whatever you're doing in a meeting, in an interview, in a school, you're a teacher, and your students are, whenever it's time for your class, they want to escape because they know you're going to be boring. They are going to sleep. And someone said, if the audience is sleeping, if the audience is sleeping, don't blame the audience. Somebody has to go upstage and wake up the speaker. Imagine, can you imagine that a speaker can be sleeping? Yeah, you can be sleeping because you're just giving us numbers, boring us with numbers, statistics that don't add to us. You're not engaging the people. You don't tell a story. You're not using gestures. There's no eye contact. There's no, illustration. There's no humor. Not jokes. Not jokes. People have been using jokes and they offend the audience. I mean, humor that are relevant. You don't use all those vehicles, but then you're just talking and talking and talking, and you cannot sense that your audience, they are not connecting with you. Everybody is on their phone. So somebody has to go and wake the speaker. So public speaking is very important. I've mentioned advancement and promotion. I've mentioned, communication skills in writing and also in speaking. And I've also mentioned that in your profession, whatever you're doing, the number one criteria is your ability to speak. So don't take it for granted. Communication, not just speaking, communication, your ability to listen, your ability to understand, your ability to have a common ground, communis, a common ground. You can flow with people. They take you to a secondary school, you can flow with them. You don't start fidgeting. Oh, I don't know what to say. What will I say to these 13 years old people? No. You're able. You say, give me, no problem. I'll talk to them. They call you before billionaires club. You're not saying no. I've not made $1 billion. Oh, please don't come. No, you go there and speak to them. They call you before a presidential committee. You go on and speak to them. They say, come and address us in parliament. Don't say no. I'm just a salesman. I'm just a marketer. I'm just a stay-at-home mom. No. Go there. Take your suit. If you have a suit, if you have a blouse, whatever, present yourself. Stand up there. And then begin to speak. Begin to speak. Confidence is key. What is confidence? Your ability to believe in yourself. Your ability to believe in yourself. And confidence goes along with competence. That's why you need to hone this communication skill. Keep on honing it. Keep on honing. Don't stop learning. Me, I've not arrived. I don't tell myself, oh, now I'm a public speaking coach. I've arrived. No, I still, even just a few days ago, I bought a book on public speaking. I have so many books. So what excuse do you have? Keep on. I'm even writing one. In fact, I finished writing. I'm going to publish it by February or so. I'm working with a publisher. So I'm honing myself. I'm honing my skills. Don't stop where you are. Keep honing. You need communication skills. So everything rises and falls on communication. Let's talk about leadership. Maybe you're a leader in your church, in your organization, and you feel that you don't need public speaking. No. You need it very, very seriously. Communication and leadership go hand in hand. In fact, John Maxwell said, everything rises and falls on leadership. But he also added, he said, yes, I've been saying everything rises and falls on communication, but I also want to add that everything rises and falls on leadership and communication. So John Maxwell is coming close to what I'm saying, that everything rises and falls on communication. Communication, very key. So as a leader, you need to communicate. If you cannot communicate clearly as a leader, nobody will listen to you. Even as a team leader, they will just pass you by. Have you not seen people who, when a leader shows up, they just do like this? This man is not serious, because they know you can't communicate clearly. You are not concise in your communication. You are not consistent. You say one thing today, tomorrow you change. You come again, oh, Bruce, can you do this? And everybody in the team says, oh, the leader said we're doing this. All of a sudden, in 30 minutes, you're changing. No consistency. So you can't have a firm grip on your team. So you need to have communication skills as a leader. Now, somebody may be asking, but I'm not a born leader, so why should I have communication skills? Communication skills is not just for born leaders. We have born leaders. Yes, praise God. If you're a born leader, thank God. If you're a born leader, but leadership is not just for those who are born with it. It's also for those who are made. You need to be made. The process is very important. So is it with communication. You are not born to communicate, so to say. They are born communicators, but also if you can learn it, you can even do better than those who are born. You need skills, you need talent, you need skills, and you need to hone that skill to becoming an expert. And then from expert, you become an authority. So you look at it. Talent alone is not enough. You convert your talent to skills. That's what you're doing here now, converting your talent. Let's like Samuel has mentioned, there are many speakers here. I'm not the only one. John Maxwell is not the only speaker in the world. There are many speakers, but he has converted his talent to skills. And now from skills, he took it further to becoming more competent. That's why I said competence and confidence is very important. They go hand in hand. You have to be competent, because that is what will even boost your confidence. So I don't want to go so much, because I know there are other questions Samuel will ask, but I'll dwell so much. I'll dwell more on confidence. There are 5 levels to your confidence. Number 1 is your physique. So as a man, you need to be doing exercise, or as a woman, you need to take care of your body. That gives you confidence too. If you don't like your shape, it will affect your confidence. So your physique is also a pillar to your confidence. Number 2 is also your purpose. Have you discovered your purpose? I shared with you how I had to lock myself in a room. By locking myself in a room, I didn't want to sound too spiritual, but I meant I went to pray. I spent time to pray. I was asking God, why am I on earth? Somebody I've just married just left me. What is the problem? What's the problem with me? What's going on? What's the problem? I just got married. Everybody was excited. Oh, this guy has married a Ugandan lady, tall, beautiful, dark, and from a royal family. But then I had to find out my purpose. Very important. When you find your purpose, it gives you confidence. You can stand anywhere and speak before people. Then number 3 is your relationship with your maker. If you're a Muslim, do you have a relationship with the creator of the world? Do you know who created the world? Do you know who created you? If you're a Christian, do you have a relationship with God? That gives you confidence also. Then also your philosophy. What do you believe? What do you believe? Are you just going through life the way you want to go? Sarah, any whatever will be. No. You need to have a goal. The other day I was reading Samuel's post, and he was talking about goal setting in 2025. He asked the question, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? He asked that question on Facebook. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? So that is a philosophy. Do you have a philosophy? that guides you. The secret of success is in your daily routine. Great people, great speakers, great leaders don't just wake up from the blue. They have a way of life, they have a philosophy that guides them. So, confidence is very, very key. So, let me just say this before someone comes in again to prompt another question. There are four types of speakers, or four kinds of people, you may say. Number one, they are the avoiders, people that avoid speaking. The number it has been said that the number one, you know, cause of death or similar to death is public speaking. The fear of public speaking, I used to say, is the beginning of wisdom. The fear of public speaking is the beginning of wisdom. So, somebody even said this, that if you go for a burial ceremony where somebody has died and you ask people, what do you prefer, to stand up and give the eulogy of the person who have died, or to be in a casket? Half of the people, majority of the people, will prefer that they be in a casket than to speak in that funeral ceremony. Imagine that. Think about that. Somebody prefers to die than to stand up to speak. So the fear of public speaking has been, ranked side by side the fear of death. I paused so that you can sing that very, very well. So, do you want to prefer to die or speak? Think about it. If you die, nobody will hear you. Nobody will see your profession. Nobody will know what you're doing. You can't influence the world. You can't impact the world. You can't be a transformational leader. So you need to stand up, face your fears. Face your fears. Fortune favors the bold. Number two, they are the resistors. Now, these people don't avoid. The avoiders do they cut corners and go away. They don't speak. You find them in team meetings. They have a team meeting. Nobody, they are not talking. They take excuse, go to the washroom. Before they come back, they have passed their turn as passed. So the next person is speaking. So they come back and they sit down. So the boss is like, okay, let's hear from the next person. So they don't talk. Now the resistors, they defend themselves not to speak. They defend themselves. They can even insult you. They can do anything. They resist speaking. If you tell them speak, they say, no, I can't speak. They give excuses why they can't speak. Now, number three, we have the acceptors. Many of them are representing their bosses in the office, CEO, supervisor. So they tell them, John Mutebi, you're going to speak for me. Please, I'm not going to be around. Please go for that sales meeting or go for that conference. Please speak for me. This is my paper I've prepared. Just speak on my behalf. They accept. Okay, thank you, boss. Thank you, supervisor. Thank you, Samuel. Thank you, whoever. Thank you, husband. Thank you, wife. And they go. But they will never on their own take the responsibility to go and speak. Now, the last group, they are the seekers. That is what I want you to be this 2025. Be a seeker in whatever you're doing. You are in a meeting and nobody is talking. Be the first to talk. That's how you brand yourself. That is personal branding. You go for a conference and everybody is just sitting down. Nobody wants to ask a question. Think of a question. Very important question, relevant. Don't just ask foolish question. Think of a question and raise up your hand and say, yes, I have a question, or I have a comment. And you say something and everybody says, oh, who is that man? Who is that woman? Where is she from? That's a very intelligent question. I do that. That's how people know me in my former place of work. Everybody, Mr. Asanga, Mr. Asanga, Mr. Asanga. I go for a conference and everybody is so knowledgeable. Say, yes, I have a question. Oh, okay. Are we okay? I hope we are safe. Somebody said I have a question. Oh, it's okay. The club is already on fire, so they could not wait. It's okay. You ask your question. Whether it's a hacker or anywhere, don't worry. We shall answer your question wherever you are. So what I was saying is brand yourself. Brand yourself. Go on Facebook, right? I see much of Samuel every time he's writing LinkedIn. I'm not on TikTok, but I'll soon be there. But I know he's there. He has talked to me about that. On Facebook, is there. On Instagram, there's all the grams. You will find him. He's there. There's no gram you will not see somewhere. Everywhere. That's how you brand yourself. In a meeting, and they're asking a question, you say you don't know. You have no idea. They ask you, Mr. Sanga, what do you have to say? Sorry, I have no idea. Really? Even if you don't have idea, say something that they know that okay, you don't have an idea, but you have spoken. So you need to brand yourself. Oh, I can talk so much. I can talk so much. Over to you, Samuel. Samuel, I hope I've been able to do justice.
So one of the things that I think you and I shared earlier on, I shared about the psalm, which is the speaker, the audience, and the message. And I think one of the things that you shared earlier on, even when I attended one of your events, was that the audience is important than the speaker and the message. So now let me just try to look at things that are coming through the comment section. Please, is David impacting you as the audience? So we could get some wows there. Somebody says, I must confess. This is Kenneth says, I must confess that I like your energy levels, Mr. Sanga. Somebody says, what a man. Wow. So your energy is really coming through, and Abby says she loves the session. So very good comments coming through. We also have comments from our YouTube community that is watching through. This is Coach Diana, who says one of the relieving truths is that public speaking is not just about me, the speaker. It's not about my mistakes. It's not about my imperfections, the type of English language or accent or color or height I use. I know my friend here, David Asanga, because he's a Nigerian, comes with that accent. But when you even look at the comments that are coming through, no one is speaking about the accent. They're speaking about the confidence that you bring to the table, how you've presented. So that is very important. Steven says this is a fantastic and says he's soon becoming a speaker. That is great to hear. Dan also says being a successful public speaker is about being able to connect with your audience or who you are speaking to. Find what you share in common, speak to their hearts first and later their minds. And you see, when David started with his story, it's emotional seeing somebody who has gone through divorce and see somebody who has moved to a new country like Uganda and they have found basically their purpose here. He spoke to our hearts because at the end of the day, we connected with him and knew that he's here, genuine. He's not somebody who's just showing up, but he's genuine. He has a life. Some people here may think you do not have problems, but he's told us of a time where he had just had to close himself in a room and be able to rethink about his life. So that is what a speaker does. And for me, as David, you are trying to share some of my reflections around this journey, especially around career progression. I remember there's a time when there was a presentation that was to be made. So I was asked to prepare the presentation, but based on the structures where I work, people at a higher level, at director partner level, are the ones that make speeches on behalf of the organization. So it so happens that I made the presentation and gave it to the director. So what happens on the day of presentation, we basically went together to the forum where it was an international presentation. So we went together. So along the day, because our presentation was in the afternoon, so along the day, my boss gets an urgent call that required him to be part of. So he went for that call. Now the call took longer than he had expected. Now where they had invited us because we are key players in the whole forum, they wanted our presentation to go on at a given point in time. So he was not yet ready at that time. So one thing he tells me, Samuel, I'm sorry I'm not able to make that presentation, but you have to make the presentation. So I'd prepared the presentation, so I had a good understanding of the presentation, and I actually confidently went and presented. And here I was presenting to different attendees from different countries, uh, experts at level of UN, government of Netherlands, and I was making this presentation. And even when my boss later came, he phoned me when I was about to finish the presentation. Even the audience, you could really see the energy. You could see they really, really appreciated the presentation. And in my mind, I'm like, if I was not prepared for that presentation one, but if I did not have the confidence, because that was an opportunity for me to shine. I remember that same boss of mine sharing with me one time and said that was actually an interview for your growth, being able to present it, and you did it really very well. So sometimes the public speaking is going to get you to a time where it is unexpectedly of you, but you have to present. You have to get there and be able to share the message. So that is quite important. It's a skill that you need. You do not know when you need it. You do not know when you did it. There's a lady who posted on social media who said that one of the things that helped her in her life is raising up the hand. I think we've most of us have attended those meetings where they say, does anyone have an opinion? Does anyone have a question to ask, or whatever it is? Sometimes it's not just about asking the question. Sometimes it's just about adding maybe value to what has already been spoken.
That's
Sometimes
right.
it's about appreciating the speaker and saying, David Asanga, you've really given us a great presentation, and I can't wait to put whatever you've shared into practice. So there are totally different ways you can be able to show. And for me, one of the things that has helped me, especially when it comes to public speaking, is the visibility it gives you. Whenever you go to any forum, the people you remember, especially that have been part of an event, are the people that spoke. Even if somebody just asked a question, those are the people that will actually be able to remember and say, that guy asked a question. And I think there's a story that David you shared about asking a question. And for me, I resonated it so much with it that you got an opportunity to sit, to access someone of a high office just because you were able to ask a question. So it's amazing. It's amazing what really public speaking can do for us. And for me, you may not have the energy that maybe David has. And David did not start with the same energy. It started from somewhere. It started from that self-belief. And the confidence that he just spoke about starts within you. Every time you think about yourself as inferior, as somebody who does not have anything to offer to the world, you continuously get yourself in circumstances where you cannot do much. So I think that's very important. You need to get to a level of confidence, of understanding that the fact that you've been invited to present in that room, you have what it takes. You have the credentials, and good preparation also gives you that level of confidence to know that, okay, I've been invited for this, I've done my preparations. And one of the things that even happens when it comes to like meetings in the workplace is making sure to understand that, okay, what is the meeting about? What are they going to discuss? What is the agenda? Can I just take a step to get to the agenda and understand it such that the meeting is run, I can participate, I can actively ask questions, I can present facts that will show that I'm attentive. And you see, speaking is like David shared, also is just not so much far from communication, but understanding that even as part of the audience, you're very attentive. Because when you're attentive means that you're going to pick the points that you're going to be able to either ask a question on or even add an idea that may not have been spoken. So raise up your hand whenever you have an opportunity to be able to share your message. And I know it will take you to greater places, especially when it comes to public speaking. So I want to again appreciate you, David. You've already energized us. So I know that moving in the right direction. So I know, David, some people may think you're naturally a good speaker, who is just born with the speaking. So for people who are listening in and for them, the confidence, the nervousness, anxiety comes. Somebody's attending their interview, their job interview that is going to change their life. They have gone through all the levels of the interview, assessments, whatever, and now they are going to face a panel of just 5 people. But as they enter the room and they see the people they are going to speak to, they start sweating, they start shaking, they start to feel like it's the end of the world. How can somebody overcome that fear, that feeling nervous and being there where they cannot really bring out their ideas, yet they know their ideas? Because I recently shared and said it is so bad for you to have all the ideas in your mind, but you can't present them confidently. And an opportunity just gets out of your hand because you could not express yourself. So let's just stick around there. How do we handle nervousness, and how can we be able to build our confidence and deal with anxiety? And is it something that you still experience as a speaker as well? Because we don't want to also just make assumptions that for you it might be okay for you always. How do you deal with all these things, David?
Okay, thank you, Samuel. That's a very important question. And many people have thought that great speakers, don't face anxiety or don't get nervous. Let me begin this way. You asked if I also experienced nervousness. Of course, even today I experienced. Before I came here at around was it 12? Yes, yeah, I had prepared my notes. Yesterday, I was up till late in the early hours of the morning. I prepared my note. I dropped it. Imagine, I still had to prepare. I didn't say no. This is what I do. I just take you for granted. In fact, let me just pause and say that the fact that you have nervousness when you are speaking, before you speak to a crowd or a person or people, shows you have a level of respect for that audience or for your listeners. The fact that you are nervous, it shows that you have some level of respect. Now, that's just the way. So I was nervous around 12 today, 12:01, and I had to rush to the washroom to do serious business because I asked myself, what is happening? Is it because I'm going to share before these professionals, transformational club or whatever? I was asking myself, but this is me. That is, in fact, what people know me for. Many people who have known me, especially those who have been very close to me, is that they know that I'm very bold. I don't fear. In fact, the fact that I was able to go and take my wife, she's from a very strong family, very strong. They are family strong, the siblings strong, but to penetrate that family, to say I want this woman for a wife, it spoke a lot. So they know me for that. I can stand anywhere to challenge, but then I still got nervous that I was coming to speak. I didn't take you people here for granted. So if you are in a panel and you are faced with nervousness, we have all been in interviews. First thing is that you have to know, number one, that to be anxious or to face anxiety or get nervous is normal. Many people have not understood that. Once you know that nervousness is normal, that is the first place to begin. Number two, I would say you can start a conversation with the panelists. For example, when if they say tell us your name or something like that, you tell them your name and try to be relaxed and then say something very funny so that they laugh, they get happy and relax. I've done that so many times. I was invited for an interview in KIU University because I love to lecture. So I thought those days in 2019, I really wanted to lecture. I said, okay, since now I've discovered this is my purpose, speaking and all the rest of them, let me start going to universities. I threw applications different places. So I went to so many universities. And so in this university, KIU, I was asked, so you are a Nigerian. So why do you think that you should come here to lecture? First thing I told them is because I love Uganda and I got married to one of your daughters. In fact, you will not believe it. Before I entered, the faces I saw, this was now the final stage. They were now ready to tell me whether I'm going to get the job or not. We have discussed salary, we have done all that. Their faces were so fierce that even myself, I was shivering. The AC was blowing, but I was sweating. Have you been in that situation? But the fact that I told them, I love your daughter, and that's why I came to Uganda to marry. That's why I know I am the one to be taken for this job, to lecture. They began to laugh. That was when I got myself. Everybody was laughing. Now, they didn't ask me the questions they were ready to fire. Everybody began to talk about Ugandan ladies, how they're beautiful, how some people in the West have big buttocks, and some people in the South, they are like this, they are like. Now, I was looking at all of them. They were talking about beautiful ladies. And this one, my wife is like this, my wife is like this. So imagine. So I left them with that joke. So try. I know some of you are too serious, you're too this, you get afraid. No, these are human beings. Look for something. Tell a story. Say something that is relaxing. But also know that stage fright or nervousness does not last more than 5 minutes. So in doing all these gymnastics, you're trying to calm your nerves for within 5 minutes and all the rest of them. But also, finally, let me say this. Like I've said, know that it is normal, but then also know that every great speaker was once a bad speaker. So in facing an interview, know that you are not the only one, having that kind of situation. Whoever is speaking today, even your pastor, imagine he sees you every Sunday, every midweek service. But can you think about it that he also gets nervous when it's time for him to come to the stage? It shows that he has a respect for the congregation, for you people. Anybody that doesn't fear, that doesn't have nervousness, know that that person is very arrogant. And then run from that kind of speaker. So if you go to an interview and you're not afraid, then something is wrong somewhere. But also, your dressing is very important because it also gives you the confidence. How do you use cologne? Are you well groomed? One thing I saw here is only a few people I've seen that take interview sessions very seriously. Some people take it with levity. They are very lax. They dress anyhow. They just fly their shirts and they don't talk in. As a lady, they wear slippers and they're going for a serious interview. And you expect the people to be friendly with you? No. So be friendly, be dressed very well, be attractive, smile as you're talking to them, even if they ask you a very serious question and their mind is that you fail the question. No, smile and you can start with, oh, thank you very much for that very important question I'm going to answer, and this is how you answer it, and you go ahead. So I hope I've done some justice. But Samuel, you can add to it because you're always in this sphere. This is your domain of interview and all the rest. Yeah.
Thank you so much, David. I think you really one of the things that I think is key is the smile. I think when you smile, you connect with the
Mm,
audience. So, and then when you smile, it also, sometimes you make yourself so uncomfortable. So when you smile, the audience is also able to read that, okay, you're comfortable, you're coming down. So smiling is, I think, is very key. I like also the aspect of getting them off to something that is humorous. It may not be as maybe really a joke out of the way. One of the things that I usually do these days is when I'm introducing myself, I usually share about myself being a salon and I say I'm a BCD. I do my accounting, I do public speaking, I'm a coach, but on the other side, I'm also a salon. I'm a father to two twin girls. So that alone also creates some level of connection with my audience to know, oh, this person is actually a big person in in Uganda and in our country, and I think in our culture as well. There's respect
culture,
that is
yeah.
given to people who are further street. So there's something that is personal that you can be able to share. And I've also seen even people, even if it's not about having, let's say, children, they could be something. You could be, say, on the other side, I'm actually an athlete. I run, I play for this team, and like it's something really that is not maybe something people expected, but you find that it helps you connect with the audience. Some of you may say, I recently got married just a week ago, and somebody, hey, so you actually a fresh, let's say, Mugole who is here. So you find something that you think could be able to create some humor about, but it's still professional, especially now for interviews as well. I remember, I think when I was doing interviews for my current role, one of the things I shared was my being a father of a son that time. So yeah, as simple as it could be. And I know we always want, when they ask us that question of tell us about yourself, you want to remain as much professional as possible. But where you see yourself, where the nerves are really struggling, just bring in a line and say, by the way, I'm also APCD. I also love music. I've actually
Mm,
recorded a song before. And somebody, yeah, you've actually recorded a song before.
mm,
So
mm,
you've drawn their attention off you,
mm.
and their
Yeah.
mind is trying to process what you've just shared with them. And they're like, oh,
Mm,
this person is actually a good cook. They are passionate about
mm,
cook. People love
mm.
food. So you've already taken them to the kitchen, and they're trying to imagine as it is helping you trying to cool down and become better. So I think and I already shared one of the key things that I do is the breathing in and breathing out. For me, David, has really worked for me. Whenever I feel nervous, one of the key things that I do is breathe in and out, breathe in and out. And I've really seen and read from other speakers who have acknowledged
Mm,
that it's something that really works in that way. There are also people who have, think David, who have said, and in interviews, it's very important for you to keep an eye contact. So sometimes you can keep an eye contact. You can look at that person whom you feel you can
mm,
resonate with first before you look around. Because usually what happens is when you start look around the entire room to everyone, there will be one who scare you, there will be one who will feel.
mm.
So you first get yourself to attention to just one individual whom you think you can connect with, and you're able to deliver the message at the end of the day. And of course, I think the other thing also starts from the mind, understanding that the fact that I've been shortlisted for this interview, because you have not bribed anyone, but you have been shortlisted for the interview. So for me, one thing that has helped me so much is understanding that I have what it takes. The fact that I'm into that place, I have what it takes. And again, it also comes back to preparations, David. Um, for most people, they are waiting for the big stage to start speaking. But it starts with even being in a meeting. Let's say it's an investment club. Maybe it's TPC. We have one of our physical meetups, and you're just sharing ideas. Sometimes this confidence grows with time.
Mm, mm,
grows with time. And I think one of the things you also mentioned about, especially in this era and age of digital, one of the things that I actually did, David, I will tell you that when I was starting out as a speaker, I was not getting speaking engagements as often. So what I did is I said I'm actually now going to create, that thing where they say instead of knocking the door, create
And the
the
door,
door.
the door, yeah.
So yes, so I had to say I'm now going to create a platform where I invite other speakers to actually come and speak, and that will give me an opportunity to be able to speak. And these days we have smartphones. It's just trying to record yourself and see what are some of the things that I'm able to see. Sometimes you're able to even give yourself feedback and say, I think I'm not doing well at that at that thing. Maybe I can do better. Maybe I'm not utilizing my hand gestures here and there. Maybe I can do better. Maybe I'm not confident. I'm not keeping eye contact. So slowly by slowly, and you can also you can also get mentors and coaches that you've been able to share with videos, and they're able to look at those videos and able to tell you that here you could have done better. For here, you looked up into the ceiling instead of looking at the camera. So continuously through feedback, you're able to improve. This is not something that you can achieve in a day. And even after this presentation, you might go and still face the same stage fright, even after such kind of an inspiring session. But what we are saying is practice and practice and practice. Every opportunity you have to speak, please speak. Sometimes it's just about, like I said, asking a question. Sometimes it's just appreciating the speaker. Sometimes it's just about doing a read up of study before you actually get into that room, to know that I'm getting into that room to be able to participate. So that is something that's very important, and for me has really helped me on that space. So thank you so much, David, for sharing, especially around that area.
Yeah.
I think I just want to take a related question. I think that was coming from Joan, who was trying to ask about impromptu speeches. For example, when you are asked to speak out of the blue and they say, "Oh, David, we're glad to have you here. You will be giving a speech on behalf of your family." And then you're the next speaker. How do you handle this from your experience, Dave?
Okay. Thank you, Joan, for asking the question. Thank you, Coach Samuel. Um, when it comes to impromptu speaking, many people shy away. In fact, that is why many people don't like public speaking or conversations, because they feel I may not, they may call me. So they try to shy away. But like Samuel has been hammering every time in this call, and even myself, that you have to show up. You have to show up to speak. Be a seeker. So when they call you to speak and you are not prepared, don't take the microphone and say, "Oh, no, 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 please, 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 please." No, you stand up. You have invited me to speak in a family meeting, and I didn't know I will speak. And you stand up. There's Samuel there who is your family member. So you get to Samuel, you look at him, you say, "Oh, thank you very much, Samuel, for the opportunity." Now, as you begin to talk like that, you are calming down yourself. "Thank you very much, Samuel, for giving me the opportunity to speak. Actually, I was not informed that I was going to speak." Now, your audience are even shocked that, "Oh, really? You said you were not informed that you are going to speak." But the way you are holding the mic, perhaps your hand is shaking, but nobody is seeing it in the microphone. But I'm so happy to be here. And I want to say that today is a very good day. And we are here to discuss about family issues regarding our family, XYZ family, and the properties. I think by the time we are done with this meeting, we shall come up with a concrete idea. Now, you are getting yourself, because you may not know what they have been talking. Perhaps you even came late and they said, "Okay, speak." So you're getting yourself. You don't know what they have been talking, but with that, you are calming down your nerves. Also, you can use the tricks of Samuel. You can say, "Samuel, do you have anything to add?" Then you throw back the microphone to him. Now you are engaging Samuel to also take on the discussion. Or perhaps if there's any other expert, let's say it's not a family meeting, but like Samuel was asked to represent his boss in a very serious conference, summit, forum, and there were professionals from all over the world there. While he's speaking, and perhaps he may not be so at the level of where these people are in their various fields, you engage one of the attendees or conference participants. You throw a question to them and let them give their expert, knowledge. While they are talking, the person is also feeling, great that you called him. And let me tell you something: people like to talk, and people like to hold the microphone. I'm telling you. I don't know if you've passed along downtown. Most times, if you drive along downtown, those people that sell speakers, if you look inside, some of them, there's nobody inside, but they are selling a microphone, they are selling a speaker. You just see them, they are holding the microphone, they are talking, they are singing, they are happy, they are mic happy. So people like to hold the microphone. So call people to hold the microphone and they'll be able to talk. If you know this trick, you will not be feeling that, oh, I didn't prepare. I didn't prepare. In fact, I joined Toastmasters. I'm a chartered member of one of the Toastmasters club. And what they do many times is they call it table topics. So you are not prepared. You don't even know they're going to call you. They just look at the register, those who have registered their attendance, and they say, oh, for example, Samuel Ibanda, technology in Africa, it's a bad phenomenon. Tell us in 2 minutes. Samuel Ibanda, technology in Africa is a bad phenomenon. Technology in Africa is a bad phenomenon. Samuel Ibanda. You don't start saying, why did you give me a simple question? What is that now? Now your audience are looking at you. You take the microphone, or if there's no microphone, you begin to talk, to speak. Whatever you say is correct. Use gestures. Don't keep your hand, because in doing so, you become more nervous. So you're free. You laugh. You even laugh about the question. You laugh about the person who gave you the question. And you look at them like that and you laugh. And everybody's relaxed. And you thought, oh, technology. You say whatever you know about technology. The truth is that you are the one in charge. Confidence is what you need. Whether you're getting the question right or wrong, nobody is concerned about that. Nobody is concerned about your accent. There was even a time a guy from Somalia was asked, and he was talking, and people were laughing because of his accent. The guy went on and he even was insulting himself, and people even began to laugh more. So it's not about accent. The truth is that you are the one there. Take on the room, take on the audience, take on your conversation, whether it's one-on-one or 2 or 5. Take it on. Someone mentioned your confidence begin in small meetings. Even this kind of platform, don't wait for the big platform. Prepare yourself. When I was young, I used to talk to the mirror. I used to my parents would lock me up because they know I was disturbing the compound. So they lock me up. So what I do, I open the window and I use this needle what do you call it? Needle milk, the one they use for babies, to give baby milk, the empty ones, and I put it as my microphone. I open the window. You have locked me up, but you cannot lock my mouth. So I open the window. They have gone out. My mother is not there. My father is not there. So I put the needle container, and when I talk, it's echoing. So I feel that I'm using a microphone, and I begin to talk. The neighborhood, they now know, this guy is even inside. So talk to yourself. That's how you prepare. You don't wait until you hold the microphone. Go around, talk.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. Thank you so much, David, for sharing that. We have someone who wants to put up their camera, and I like the confidence of that person. So, Mr. Theo, You could just put on your camera and then you'll be able to just ask your question as I look at other questions as well that are coming through. Theo, are you there?
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
Theo. Yes, Theo, we can see you.
Good evening. Thank you, Coach, for putting this together. Much appreciated. Uh, Hi, David. How are you doing?
Fine, Theo. How is it?
Beautiful. So,
Yeah.
as you were speaking, I went over to your LinkedIn and I just checked it out. And I noted that you have a company that does public speaking. Um, so, my question was okay, from the posts I was reading, it seems you do most of your work at pro bono. So I wanted to know at what point do you separate the place of doing it pro bono and charging a rate? Like how do you monetize the craft? Yeah. I I I I am I'm an accountant and but during my free time I also do poetry. So most of the time I do it pro bono, but there are times I am forced to monetize it. Yeah, sometimes I have to monetize it depending on the audience. So I wanted to know how do you know when to monetize the craft? Just your views as you, how do you know when to monetize the craft? Yeah. The second question is pretty much about um um the best speakers. I was reading somewhere sometime, and they said that the greatest speakers in world history, the Winston Churchills, the Martin Luther Kings, the Malcolm X's, the Pio Gamo Pintos. Whenever you go for a public speaking to a speaking school or lecture, you will always note that their faces are used on the posters and flyers, yeah, as a way of advertising that there's public speaking class here, public speaking lectures here. But the catch 22 is that these guys did not go to public speaking school. They did not go to, they did not have public speaking lecturers. They did not have public speaking coaches. So it really, not that public speaking coaches are wrong, but no, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, in your opinion, what do you think set them apart from many public speakers in this generation? Yeah, because they didn't have the things that we had, but to date we still read their speeches, we still watch their videos, and and we still admire them, we look up to them as icons. So those are the two major questions. But just to thank you for the things you shared, the need to be a vocal public, to learn how to speak. I'll just give a testimony. One time, my my boss at work told me that whenever you go for a meeting, whether it's with a client, whether it's with a boss or with a partner or a staff firm-wide meeting, you must always ask a question. So I asked him why, and he said, because you should make your time worthwhile. It should be worthwhile that you sat in that meeting for 1 hour. They shouldn't, at the end of the meeting, when people, but even before you go for the meeting, you should have the question. He told me you should have the question in your wallet before the meeting starts. Actually, if you know you have a meeting tomorrow morning, the day before, you should already plan the question so that when the time to ask question comes, you're the first to ask. Why? Because you must make your 1 hour, you must make your 30 minutes you spent in that meeting worthwhile. Yeah. So it's something I have really taken on as counsel, and I have seen it to bear fruit. So I could concur with that. Thank you.
Wow.
Those are the two questions I had.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Theophilus. That was a very powerful one. Let me start with your first question. How do you monetize your craft? And when do you know that it's time to monetize? Now, first is to know that what your gifting is what God has given to you to bless the world, to impact the world, and so you shouldn't keep it fallow. So, like you said, you're an accountant, but also you do poetry. That's a gift. In fact, that it shows you're multi-talented, because if you can do numbers and also you're doing poetry, many people can't do that. So, when do you know? For example, if you have been honing your crafts, you have been attending courses on your craft, you have mentors, you have coaches, you have platforms, you go around to learn, and then you are also giving it free of charge, because the best way to really hone your craft very well is to practice. Don't wait until you have everything put together. Is to practice. So by doing pro bono, you're practicing, you're gaining confidence. You're gaining confidence. Now, a time will come, you yourself will know. You yourself will know that it's time for you to start monetizing. Now, what is the purpose of pro bono? Pro bono is not, so to say that you don't know what you're doing. No, pro bono is trying to tell the public, trying to tell the world that, see, I am here. I give this value to you. I can do it for you. But since you don't know me, since you know the Winston Churchill, you know the Barack Obamas, you know the Martin Luther King Jr., and or the Bill Clinton and all the rest of them, uh, just let me give you this for free. But come and test my session. So in that session, that's what we are talking about. You prepare like you are meeting 5,000 people. So you prepare so much that when people come to say or to see you in your sessions, in your free sessions, they are the ones that will even tell you, why are you not charging? They are now at that point, you now know, okay. I think this is the time to start charging. They are your audience, your customers who have come to hear you, your poetry, how you talk, and how you rhyme your words. They are the ones that will tell you, why are you not charging? What's the problem? We want more of this. In fact, some will tell you that I can't come for another pro bono because I don't value pro bonos. I value sessions that I pay for. Now you now know that this is a time to now put your energy to those who are ready to pay, because now you have to think about how you manage yourself to give more value to people who want you, who need you, not those who are just waiting to receive free things. There are people like that. Oh, Theophilus. When next is the next pro bono? When next? Now, those people, you know that this is the time to separate those people from the people who are ready to pay. And some, they may be very few. Those who are ready to pay, there may be one or two, and you have like 10 people who want fees. You put your energy to the 2 people. Don't mind the 10. Focus on the 2 people and say, okay, now these 2, I'm ready to give you. Now, in those 2 people, you look for the one that is really needing you. Now you increase your price. That is another level now. You increase your price. Okay, I was charging 50K for 2 of you. Now I think I'm so busy, and with the way I see the are coming in, people are asking for me everywhere. They are saying, Theophilus, come. Now I am increasing my price to 100K. The one who is ready to pay the 100K is the one you focus on. The one who is saying, no, I can't, you leave that one. That is how you increase. So your audience will also tell you when it is time. And also you yourself will know when it is time. Also, something that will add to you to monetize is if you have been paying for attending programs. If you have not been paying, you may be feeling shy to charge. to monetize. So I want to encourage you. Yes, you may have little money to pay for a conference. Go ahead and pay. Attend. They say they exhibit your product. You have your product and nobody knows it. You pay money for exhibition and you go, even if nobody knows it. Just paying by it gives you confidence to say to people that, see, I have been paying for programs, attending summits, forums, conferences. See, I've been attending. I pay a little token, and it gives you the confidence to monetize. So don't shy away from monetizing. I know there's a belief in the church that freely you have received, freely give. But the pastor who is saying that is selling his books. He's also traveling to different countries and collecting he calls it love offering. Love offering, is it paper offering? It's money, it's currency. Some even collect dollars and they call it love offering. Then you that you have the skill, you're very skillful, they tell you, no, freely you have received, freely give. Jesus died that he was poor so that you might be rich. Spiritual riches. There's nothing like spiritual riches. Yes, we are rich in heavenly places, but you have to translate it to the world. And in this world, it is money that talks, currency. In heaven or wherever, money, paper money. There's no paper money. So you translate. So don't be shy. If they tell you why you for your event for poetry, anybody can speak. Okay, anybody. Okay, come and speak. Come and speak. Come and rhyme. Come and write poetry. So don't be shy. It also boils down to confidence. Believe in yourself. Once you believe in yourself, nobody will tell you. You will charge. And whether people come or don't come, I've done that many times. I put a conference like somewhere said, nobody comes. If you samosas, everything, the hotel prepared everything, nobody came. We ate it ourselves. And in 2018, nobody knew me. I was struggling with all the divorce and everything. The wife is running away. She's singing. I'm walking away from the troubles all my life. And I said, okay, public speaking. I started. Now I put conference. I went to a university somewhere in town. I wrote a letter. I said, I want to use your venue. They gave me. I bought samosa, bought refreshment. Nobody came. What do you do? You eat it, but then you post that we had a very wonderful this. The universe has known that this guy is serious. You eat your samosa. If you have so many, you share with friends and you continue with life. Now, the second one on Wistin and all those people who did not have a mentor or even do coaching like we are doing here, like in the information age, but everybody is quoting them. Is what we are saying now. They believe in themselves. You hear of Zig Ziglar. I started reading about him from a very child, from when I was very young. I'm in my 40s now. I look very young, but I'm in my 40s. I'm almost 43 or so. I have started reading about Zig Ziglar. But how did Zig Ziglar start? He stepped out. You are here hearing me now. There are things ringing in your heart to do, and you're afraid. Oh, the economy is like this. If I start, what will people say? What will they say? What will they say? Those people stepped out. They didn't wait for coaching or anything. There was no information age. There was no YouTube. There was no Zoom. There was no anything. They stepped out. They believed in what they are doing. And everybody now, we hear of John Maxwell. How did John Maxwell start? He said he wrote his first book, Think on These Things. He didn't know how to write. Somebody was asking questions on communication, writing skills. He just wrote and he went to a publisher and said, please publish. They said, we can't publish. What are you writing? You don't even know how to write. You're a young boy in your 20s. And he brought the book back and he packaged himself. He published it. Think on These Things. That was his first book. But today we have John Maxwell because they stepped out. Can you step out? 2025 has come. You wrote many goals. I will do this. I will do this. I will do this. I will do like this. I will jump on the sky. I will visit the moon. I will go to the aircraft and start being a pilot. I will do like this. June, February will come. You have not done anything because you are afraid to step out. Don't be afraid. Do it afraid. You want to do a monetized program? Put a fee that you know that you can do. Go ahead. Let people laugh at you. No problem. Do it. So that's why we're hearing about them. Winston Churchill, they were not afraid. You read about the Second World War, how Winston Churchill was so bold. He burned the bridges. But they still went ahead. So doing it is not that you are not afraid. Fear or courage is not the absence of fear, but doing something even with fear. I hope I've answered you. My God.
Yes. I think you've really shared, especially around this topic. There are some questions here that have also come through. I think very related to that is a question, I think, from Rosette that says, "Thank you for the session. Please share some materials like books, online materials that we can read to pull up our public speaking skills." I also just want to mention before David comes through that public speaking is one of the modules that we shall be covering at the TP. That's for the paid up members. If you're paid up members, you'll be able to have David to be able to share with you more on a detailed level. Today he did not come with his presentations, but one of the things that we even hope to have is to have a physical day where we all meet up and be able to practice what we shall be able to learn through the TPC platform. So make sure that you sign up so that you may be able to utilize this. Like we said, we have the public speaking where we'll be able to learn more in detail how to build your confidence. We have an element around personal branding, how you can also build and elevate your personal brand, because I think David just mentioned it, that just as you are coming through as a speaker, you need to make sure that you're developing your personal brand, because it's from the personal brand that you're going to be invited to speak on different sessions. So that is quite important. And even as for you to be able to move from the freebies, offering your free services as a speaker, to now paid speaking, is going to also come through around your personal branding to be able to put yourself there and keep showing up. And from there, an organization is able to reach out and say, please come and speak about finance. Come and speak about this maybe poetry that you're sharing. And at the end of the day, somebody is actually paying you. So that is something that is very critical. So join through and we'll be able to, in addition to personal finance and personal leadership, that we'll be able to cover. So I encourage you to join through. But there are also quite a number of resources. I think from the presentation, what David just mentioned, David mentioned he's a member of Toastmasters. So Toastmasters is one of the global public speaking kind of networking events, especially for people who are enthusiastic about public speaking. There are quite a number of chapters around Uganda, so you could be able to tap into one of the chapters just to develop yourself, because you're around people who are all aiming and trying to build their public speaking skills. And of course, YouTube is also your friend. There are quite a number of people that are there sharing public speaking. But one of the things that I've really learned about public speaking is through watching other people speak. While David was presenting here, I was trying to see how is he able to bring the energy, how is he able to engage the audience. And at the end of the day, there's one or two things that I'm able to learn. So nothing that it can't be done. I think everything can be done. But I just want you to just also add the same voice that Mr. David.
Yeah, thank you. You've said it all. You have to be hungry as a speaker. You get materials. Go to book. I visit bookstores most of the time. I go there to check, is there any new book, and I go there to see what books can I get. I buy the ones I cannot get. I say, okay, I'm coming back for this. If my money I took did not take me because of the ones I saw, I didn't prepare. I say, okay, I'm coming back. So you have to be hungry to learn. If you're in this industry, you have to read. yeah, Samuel will agree with me. He doesn't just show up wearing his suit and tie. You see him like you say, this man is very handsome. Salongo. No, Salongo is not by mouth. Salongo also reads. He has materials. You be hungry. Go online. Even you try to see yourself also as an authority, where one day you can write a little pamphlet or a little book. Like I told you, I told myself I have to be an authority in this. So since 2017, I began grooming myself, and in 2020 I said no, I must write a book. So I've been writing a book from 2020. My wife has been even laughing at me that your book has been traveling. So this year we decided that no, I must publish it. So go around, there are materials everywhere, resources. Or you go on Google, you see books on public speaking, download them. Some that you can pay, buy them. Listen to good speakers. That is the best you can do, like someone has mentioned. See how they talk. Somebody was asking, how do I complement my gesture with my message? By watching the good speakers. You don't say, oh, we have just lost someone in our organization and let's have a minute silent, and you're smiling. Your gesture is not going with your message. Or you say, today is a very happy day, and we know it's going to be very awesome. I hope you're happy that you're here. Your gesture is your even mood, your body language is not flowing. There's what we call the iconic gestures, where naturally, as you are talking, your gestures goes along with how you're talking. You are not planning it, but it goes. There are other gestures that you have to be intentional. For example, I power to the people. You're doing like this. You see some of those politicians, Nelson Mandela is doing like this. It communicates. Oh, this power, this authority. It shows we are together. Aluta continua, vitre asata. You don't say you are just doing like, no. You deliberately, intentionally practice. So watch good speakers. That is how your gestures, complement your message. Keep on speaking, practice. Like I'm saying, like I said to Theophilus, practice. You're feeling that you want to help people in personal finance, to coach them. Have you gotten the knowledge? Have you read? Have you saturated yourself with mentors, with this kind of platform? Then if you're confident about it, step out. Don't say, no, there's a coach that I know. Coach Samuel is very good. If I go out now, people will say I'm not good. No. The world is very large. There are audiences for Coach Samuel. There's an audience for you also. If we understand that, all the competition we are having and the insecurity at work in different places, we just go away. If we know that this universe is big, I'm not the only public speaking person. There are many people. John Maxwell has written books. I have almost all his books on public speaking, but I'm writing my own. Will I say John Maxwell? I'm not going to write. John Maxwell. Hey, John Maxwell. No, you write, I write. You write again, I write again. We write. That's how the world goes. There are people that will listen to John that will not listen to me. And there are people that will listen to me that will not want to hear the name John Ma. When you say John Ma, they say, stop that. I don't like that man. So that will stop all the competition. There are people that love Sam for the way he talks on finances, the way it makes you understand, even have the confidence that you can get a job. And they want to listen to Sam. There are other very good personal finance coach. Nobody is listening to them. They shout, talk, market, they advertise. Nobody. Sorry, I don't like you. That's the world we live in. So don't stop.
That is very true, David. There's a comment that has come through. I think this is from this is Lynette, who says confidence goes with competence. I just want to say that whenever you're invited as a speaker and you're invited from your area of competence, and I already mentioned that one time I was invited in an area that I was not competent about, and I had to suggest to them some area that I was competent in, and it was really a fruitful event for me and even for the audience. So competence is very key. one of the things that is going to make you a very good public speaker is continuously working on yourself. Basically, when you step on the stage, you're speaking from authority. You're not just speaking from anyone. You're speaking from authority. And that is why you need to continuously develop yourselves. Personal development is very key for any public speaker. Because remember, you're going to speak to an audience that already knows some of the ideas you're sharing, people that are PhD level and whatever, but you're getting there because you're competent, you know what you're going to share. You can also read the environment, and competence also comes from being able to go to a public speaking class and knowing that, okay, if I'm to go to David's master class, which he will handle through the TPC paid membership, I'll be able to learn one, two, things that are going to help me. At the end of the day, when you continuously develop yourself, you develop that confidence because, you know, I've gone through this training. I've gone through Toastmasters. I've watched these videos. I've practiced with my friends on their birthday party. I have practiced at church. When you're invited to speak at a global conference, you even come with a lot of energy and you're already there. So that is one thing that I just wanted to just add. David,
Yeah.
there is a question from Rita who says you mentioned about the levels of
Okay.
confidence, which was
Yeah.
physique, purpose, relationship with the creator, philosophy, and asking what was the fifth level of confidence?
Okay. Sorry. Thank you, Rita, for bringing that up. It shows you are very attentive. It's your intellect. Now,
Yeah.
your intellect, just like we are talking about competence now, are you able to read to develop your mind? So the more you read, the more you attend conferences, the more you go for seminars, it gives you the confidence. You have the competence. Ninette said, confidence goes with competence. Very true. So your intellect is the fifth one. It gives you confidence that you know now. Yes, I've been here. I've interacted with these like-minded people. So I have the confidence. I can speak on this subject, even if I may not know everything around it, but I think I can say something on it. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. And then one of the last questions is around Silas says, how do you ensure your body language complements your message? And I think I've seen you trying to use some body language here and there, even if it's an online event. But how do you use that the gestures to be able to, even the smiling, to be able to deliver your message, especially as a public speaker? And then lastly, we shall have Nohu come through and to be able to ask. Do you want Nohu to ask and then you respond at once? Or you first
Okay.
respond to
Okay.
then
Yeah. Okay.
okay, Nohu, just put on your camera and if you can, or just ask your question. That's okay. That's okay as well.
Thank you, Coach Samuel. Thank you, Coach David. Not in the fear of people seeing me, but allow me leave my camera off.
That's okay.
This is very nice and interesting. And I just want to give one thing that I've personally experienced in my journey as a person. One, sometimes some of the things that keep us behind is wanting to adopt a style that someone uses. For example, Coach, all of us know Vusi Tembekwayo, and all of us know PLO Lumumba. When you're to listen to these two guys, they both have different styles. PLO Lumumba is very calm, but can you say that Vusi Tembekwayo is better than PLO Lumumba, or PLO Lumumba is better than Vusi? Everyone has their own style, unique, and when you to listen to both of them, you just don't want them to stop. Now, this is something that I have learned also over time. Be yourself. Don't adopt Coach Samuel's style, and because you like the way he does it, that you want to take on that. Number two is sometimes you may see something that is booming, Let me give an example. Today, the talk is more about entrepreneurship, artificial intelligence, and a lot of other things. One of the things that keep us behind is you wanting to take on something that you don't have expertise in. You want to start by talking about artificial intelligence because you want attention from people, but you don't have enough knowledge about artificial intelligence. You see, sometimes it is beyond reading. What makes great speakers at times is the experience that they go through. Because usually in public speaking, you share knowledge, you share, but more or less you share experience and lessons. So it is one thing that maybe I would say, as we start, it is good to start from what we are comfortable with, what our expertise, because like coach said, confidence. When you're sure about what you're going to talk about, usually you're going to be confident. And above all, please practice. Practice beyond the bathroom. For example, I'm a very good singer when I'm showering. My wife knows. Sometimes I'm a very good singer when I'm singing for her. Then after she applauds. But within me, you know, I'm not so what? I am not good. So at times, it is good to start with people who are genuine. There are things I have done, and I know this is, for example, you do a video and you feel it is really not all that good. But if you don't start, you will never discover anything, okay? So, but otherwise, these are very great lessons. And there is always a lesson to learn from everyone. I'm glad to be part of this. And I hope to continue being part of the TPC. Coach, you're coming through soon. Thank you so much, and God bless you all.
All
Thank you
right.
so much. Yeah.
Thank you, Noho. So please come through, David, and answer that question around the importance of non-verbal in communication.
Okay. Nehu just said experience and authenticity. So there's no need to copy someone. Just be yourself. Don't worry about your culture. Don't worry about where you're from, your accent, or whatever. Just be yourself. We all know about what's the new president who is going to be sworn in, President Trump. He likes wearing a red tie with a suit. Now, you don't say you want to be like Trump and you start wearing red tie. Red tie may not fit you. So look for what fits you. There are people like PLO. Sometimes he wears the African attire. Sometimes he's on suit. So you look for what fits you. You don't be someone else. Vusi is always very professional because he knows he's talking to professionals and all the rest. But when he's talking, you see the energy. But just like Mutebi said, you can't stop listening to both. You want to hear them. So authenticity is real. Your experience. The greatest way of transforming people is to share your story as a public speaker, not just sharing what you've read, not just saying things that you listen to, but your own story. So look around you. What are your stories that you can share? If you feel you can't share them, then for now, just be in the place that you are just doing the little sharing of knowledge, data, report, and all the rest. But when you're ready to share your story, then you can start sharing it and you're going to transform life. Let me just say something. What John Maxwell said he said something I want to read. I think I have it here on my phone. It's going to help very well. Still on authenticity, it is going to help. Yeah, I think I can find it. Okay, it says If you try to communicate something you know but do not feel, your communication will be dispassionate. Now we are talking about connecting with people, non-verbal. How do you connect with your body language? So I don't know what way to say it, but you have to be intentional. You have to be very, very intentional about your body language and how you use it. It all comes back to practicing. Like Nihu said, in the bathroom, when you're alone, with friends, one-on-one, do you use gestures? So if you communicate something you know, but do not feel it. In Nigeria, some you hear people sometimes they tell you, "I'm not feeling you. You're a speaker. I know they feel you. I know they feel you. You have the people, your audience have to feel you. Even if it's one person you are talking to, they have to feel you. So if you know something, but you communicate it and they are not feeling you, you be dispassionate. Then it says again, if you communicate something you know but you do not do, your communication is theoretical. So you find many people, they speak but they don't do what they say. They behave like pastors who say, do what you hear me say but don't do what I do. You can't make an impact. So your communication is theoretical. If you try to communicate something you feel but do not know, Nihu mentioned it, do not know. Samuel has also mentioned it about knowledge. You communicate something you feel, but you do not know. Your communication is unfounded. It's unfounded. How do we get data? How do we know that you research? You say you feel it, but you don't know it. It's unfounded. If you try to communicate something you feel, but do not do, your communication is hypocritical. If you try to communicate something you do not know, something you do but do not know, your communication is presumptuous. So make sure you're authentic in everything you're doing. You're doing it, you feel it, you know it, you have the experience of what you're saying. So for non-verbal, I would just say keep on practicing. Consciously and unconsciously, you begin to talk with your hands, with your body. Your body language does not uh, uh, betray what you are saying. So with more practice, I didn't start like this. Yes, I used to talk from childhood, but using gestures was not the way I do now. Sometimes I give speeches and people say, how you are a good communicator. You know how to use gestures. You know how to use this. uh, I didn't start like this. It's practice. So what I would say to you, the non-verbal questionnaire, is keep practicing. When you're talking, don't just stand and you're talking. Even with your friend, try to use gestures. I see children these days, even in school, they teach them that when they are talking, when they are reciting a poem, when they're doing a song presentation, before they start, oh, good day, mommy and daddies, I am here to present. You see the child is using his hands. So talk with your hands always, with the one-on-one, with two, with three, in church, even in the shower, as you're showering. Talk with your hand. Sometimes I look at myself in the mirror. Even today, I spoke to myself in the mirror. And I told myself, you have something in you that will change the world. I was looking at myself in the mirror. I was using gestures. So don't say no. When they will think I'm mad. Who knows that you are mad? Nobody knows. It's only you that know yourself. I think I should stop here.
Thank you,
Okay.
thank you so much, David. We have had quite a very powerful session, and I can see a lot that is coming through in our WhatsApp group in terms of lessons. Much appreciated to whoever's joined through this session, either through YouTube or through the Zoom session. When it comes to public speaking, it is David's chips and chicken. So that is not a surprise for me. But for me, I'm so much glad that he has showed up to share with us. By the way, like I indicated, we'll have David as part of our mentors in TPC, public speaking mentors. And for me, my role is to bring you the best, to bring you people who are sharing from a genuine heart, and people who are ready to impact. So that is very important. Already, I had Theo mention that David is on social media, so you can be able to see David on LinkedIn. His LinkedIn handle is David Asanga. So make sure that you check out him and connect with him. He shares with us great messages. David is also on Facebook. So you can be able to find David on Facebook. For my friends that are on Facebook, you can search for David Asanga. You'll see he shares great videos. The energy you're seeing here is just one of them that he does shares. He also is on Instagram, so you can also access him on Instagram. So that is very good for him. Maybe he'll also be able to just share his number. But one of the things is David is with us. He's actually a member of the TPC. He's on the platform. And for my friends that are on the paid program, we'll be able to have David be able to share even more. Why? Because we want to be able to really get the best out of this whole program. So David, much appreciated for being part of this, and everyone who has participated in sharing their comments. Great comments also came through our YouTube channel. So very important. Thank you so much, Stephen, Caesar, John Paul, and quite a number of people that joined through the session, including Diana through YouTube. Much appreciated. And we'll be again advertising our next session, and make sure you spread the message of the Transformation Professionals Club. Let's have more people to be transformed this year. Let's not be mean about information. If you've watched a video, maybe it's on YouTube and it's very share it with them. This record has been recorded on YouTube as well. So please just go get there and share the message with someone so that we can be able to learn from each other. Otherwise, I want to ask David to just share his closing remarks and be able to also just share on how maybe people can also access him as well. I know that you also have even an upcoming masterclass also coming through outside just TPC, but you could also just try to share. There are also organizations that could invite you to be able to speak to them and elevate their confidence. We have CEOs listening through this call, and we have people who are in decision-making positions. So invite David to come through, and you'll be able to ignite your staff and give them the confidence to be able to do their work better. David, just share your closing remarks as we conclude this session.
Wow, thank you very much. I want to say I'm glad that we had this session, and so don't stop honing your communication skills. Remember, everything rises and falls on communication. I'm planning a masterclass sometime in February. I will share the dates. I'm trying to get with the hotels and people I'm working with so that we get a very good time. Then also I do programs for intending couples and newly weds. So there's something we are working on, an event. We did a relationship symposium last year, and it was very powerful, very powerful. I got speakers from different places, and it was very powerful. We want to really help people in who are struggling in marriage, and also newly weds. Many people feel that marriage is a walk in the park. No, no, no. No, it's serious work. Somewhere can tell you. And some people who are here, like Miss Anihu says, he sings in the shower, and his wife is the one that gives the scores. So if your wife cannot score you, nobody can score you. You are just there wasting your time. So we do programs like that, and there's also a program we are working on. I'm trying to see how to bring in Samuel on growth and leadership to see how to help people. So just keep your ears. And also, I'm doing my book launch very, very soon, very, very soon. So once it's out, you will hear, and I think it is going to change your life. Thank you so much. God bless you.
All right, so God bless you too. David, I know you said you're a good singer, so today is my birthday, and I want to put you on the spot. I don't know if you know who can join you into that choir. so that you're able to sing and we conclude this party, because I know that we came here to both celebrate but also to just sing along. So please.
Okay. Nihu, is he there?
All right. I don't know if the voices will match.
Impromptu singing. We are confronted, like someone asks, we are confronted with singing now. Okay. Who is starting?
Samuel, I realized that there is something we share in common. Baby girls, come we sing for happy birthday to Coach Samuel. So
Wow.
I realized we share something in common, Coach Samuel, Moses Salongo, and a
Wow.
father of girls. So
I think people have been prophesying to me about having twins. So I think even my wife is listening now. So this one I'm seeing Nehu, Salongo, Samuel Salongo. That means we are salonging the place. Wow. Wow.
okay, let's have light. Okay, so you're going to sing for Coach Samuel. Okay, it's his birthday. Okay, sing for him, then we go sleep. Okay, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to
Sing one more song. Happy birthday to you. Happy
Happy birthday, Coach Samuel. Happy birthday, Coach Samuel. Happy birthday,
Coach
Samuel.
Samuel, no, happy birthday, happy
Birthday.
birthday. Happy
Happy
birthday to
birthday to
you.
you. Then let's do the African style. Happy birthday, dear Samuel. Happy birthday, dear Samuel. Happy birthday
Happy
to you.
birthday
Happy
to you.
birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Samuel. Hip, hip,
Uh-huh.
hip. Hooray.
Oh, okay, we have to Uncle Samuel.
Thank you so much,
Okay.
everyone. Thank you so much, little ones and daughters, to know whom Tebi. That is really awesome, and I really feel great spending this birthday with you today. I know I should be somewhere eating my cake and soda, but I just felt that I need to be able to deliver this. My life is about service. My life is about seeing how do I grow others. And for me, I do not have any issue to be able to be here today with you. And I'm much glad that you've taken out away one or two things out of this session. And I look forward to more sessions like this and inviting more speakers that are going to help us to be able to learn and grow together. And for me, I'm much humbled. And thank you so much, Nohu Mutebi, for the great work you're doing, especially in the data science space. I don't know who has an event coming up on the 12th. We'll be able to share with you a flyer around data science, which is very great. And David as well, thank you so much. Send our regards to your wife. And I know she's proud of you. And also thank you for marrying in Uganda, because we now have a Muko in Nigeria. So that is very awesome. And we are glad to have you as part of the Ugandan community. And for me, you have a gift to the world. So I'm always humbled to have you part of the
Thank you so much.
sorry, when Theo asked about how to monetize your speaking, one of the things that I've really learned, especially in my career as a speaker, is first offer value. When you offer value continuously, there will be that point in time where people will now start paying you. The first person who paid me was paid me 20,000 shillings. And that was an envelope where I even went to that event driving, and that was already fuel plus. But why are you doing what you're doing? I think matters. And along the way, I've been able to get people who pay me 1 million shilling, who pay me whatever amount money it is. but that all started from zero for me, and also being able to be open in terms of developing myself and continuously putting myself out there, developing my brand. Public speaking does not work in isolation. There's personal brand in it, there's competence in it, there's making sure that you improve your craft every day. So quite a number of things that really happen. So I know that even as an aspiring public speaker, this is an opportunity for you to be able to start now. You can earn a side income from just public speaking, basically sharing what you know. And we are in the era and age of technology where you do not need to be invited to speak. I know one person has shared they lack platforms to be able to practice, but just get online, start that YouTube channel and keep showing up, sharing your message. Continuously, there will be somebody who is watching. One of the things that I did at the start is, even when I had 2 people watching or listening to my message, I would share. And continuous, that changed. And I'm not surprised that even for this session, we have quite a number of people that have come through just to listen through. So you start as you move, as you progress, and as you also better your craft. Because if you do not start, you can really not better your craft. So I once again, I welcome you to the Transformation Professionals Club, where we are intentional career professionals that are looking forward to growing ourselves and improving ourselves every day. And I'm very certain that you'll not really regret being part of us. Be part of our WhatsApp group, which is out there. But we also have a paid platform where we even offer more and give you access to great mentors than that. So in case you want to join the other platform where we go extra mile in some of these topics, please reach out and I'm able to give you the details and be able to see how we can be able to grow. Let 2025 be a different year for you. And I know with the grace of God and you putting in what is required, no one can stop you and you really move to greater heights. So thank you so much. Coach Samuel Ibanda here. If you're watching me for the first time, you can also access me on social media. Just go to Google and put in Coach Samuel Ibanda. You'll be able to see some of the platforms where I am and we're able to connect and be able to grow together. I'm so much on LinkedIn, but you find me on TikTok, find me on YouTube, using Coach Samuel Ibanda everywhere because that's my brand. And we're able to connect, you're able to listen to my message. I share quite a number of videos, but I would even tell you that some of me getting to that level was something that did not just happen. I also have videos that I make and do not even post them because either I feel they're not ready to be posted out there, but it's just about starting. Get yourself, get confident and get rolling. Share your message. One of the things that David, even as we conclude, is that you have a message to offer to the world. You have somebody whom you're going to change and inspire, but because you've kept quiet on your message, people are giving up, people are losing their lives because you're not sharing your message. So just think about it from that perspective. I was speaking to one of the mentees where she was saying, I'm very good about this. I even shared the message and somebody was transferred. I was like, there are quite a number of people who are out there who want to listen to your message, who want to be transformed. Somebody reached out to me and said, Samuel, between you and giving, basically, my life is between listening to you and just my life getting gone. And for me, it was to that point in that I realized that if I was not out there to share this message, maybe somebody would have lost their lives. So yeah, when you share a message, you're impacting, you're creating. So start from that perspective. And when you show up with a giving mindset, you're not even worried about the message you're offering. You're not even worried so much about the confidence because you're coming as you're powering yourself, just like the way David shared. So I want to say that we can speak and speak, and we are already over and above our scheduled time. But this is just because we love sharing and giving the message. So I just want us to be able to end this, and I want to say that may God bless you in your journey of public speaking, and may you continuously develop yourself in this whole journey. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. Have a great evening and a great journey of 2025. Bye-bye.